All right, let's go ahead and start with our angel wings. So we're going to start by lifting those shoulders up, lifting those elbows out, lifting those wrists all the way up, and dropping down. I want to make sure that this sound quality is on good. The last time I recorded, I couldn't hear myself talking, but I heard this too loud. So I'm going to take this out. So at any time, if you can't hear my voice and the music, just go like that so I understand if we can or can't hear. Okay?
Totally.
Thank you. Perfect. Let's work on those angel wings. Get deep breaths in while we go up and release that out. Really lift up out of those shoulders, elbows, wrist, and drop that down. Couple more of these, deep, deep breaths. Good. Now from here, let's go ahead and go into the key of the universe position. And we lower the head down as we stretch the back of the neck to the ground. And we come back, lifting our head up to the roof, drop back into that neck, and deep breath in. As we come down, we breathe out through the mouth, pushing that neck to the ground. And we come back up, breathing in through the nose, dropping back into the neck. Deep breath out, coming down. And deep breath coming in, dropping back into that neck. Let's continue this motion. All the way up. Deep breath in, get that breath into that throat. And out as we come down, really push the back of that neck down to the ground. And let's do 2 more of these. All the way down. Last one. All the way down. Now from here, let's go ahead and push the ear to the left and to the right. So keeping that body nice and still, we're just taking the ear now and shifting it to the left and the right. Still getting nice deep breaths in through the nose, pushing that oxygen to the areas that feel tight. A little bit faster now, double time this, just back and forth, back and forth. Remember that this is a thyroid exercise, so if we ever have any issues or anyone has any of these issues, make sure that we refer them this exercise. Now let's go forward and back with this. Forward and back. We're just pushing the neck forward and back. Keeping the arms in place. It's just the neck now going forward and back. Still getting nice deep breaths in and out. Now remember why we keep our arms up above the head is because when we break down all of this gunk in the back of the neck, we're going to unwind it all just as soon as we do our circles. Now let's put this motion together and we're going to go forward, side, back, side. Forward, side, back, side. Good job. Let's keep this motion going, just pressing that neck forward, ear to the side, push back to the side. Now when we feel comfortable with this motion, let's go ahead now and bring this into a circle. Just pressing that neck all the way around and getting nice deep breaths in, breaking up any areas that feel tight. This is also a really good exercise if we have loose skin around the throat. This is going to be a nice one to firm that up. And now opposite way, let's bring that neck all the way around. Try to touch that ear to the side, pushing that neck all the way back and forward as we come around. And breathe. Good job. Now from here, let's go ahead and take those wrists and we're softly going to roll them. Just at the wrists, gently coming down the body, dropping it all the way below the root chakra, and come all the way back up, taking a nice deep breath, and roll those wrists. All the way below the root chakra. Come all the way back up, and roll. Let's do a few more of these rolling motions. Get all of that gunk out of the blood by unwinding this out through the lymph nodes, under the armpit, down through the lymph nodes below that root chakra. Last time, let's unwind. Now from here, let's place the hands on the hips, and we're going to press those elbows all the way back. Try to squeeze those shoulder blades together. Nice deep breath inward through the nose. Stretching out those lungs, stretching out that rib cage. And now release that breath, coming forward, bringing those elbows together, keeping those hands in place on the hips. Just pushing out now of that scapula. Pushing all the breath out. Deep breath in as we come back, in through the nose. Push those shoulder blades together. Deep, deep breath in. And release. Pushing those shoulder blades up. Deep breath as we come back in through the nose. Expand those lungs with that oxygen. And release as we come forward. Push all that oxygen out. Deep breath as we come in. Let's do a few more of these. And out. Last one, really make this count. And out. Good, now from here we're going to elevate the shoulders. So just try to push the shoulder blade up to the ear. Just pushing one up and dropping one down. So we really want to feel the lift and then also feel the drop on both sides. Really stretch those shoulders out. Get that muscle off the clavicle bone, which is that bone around the throat. Really stretch up and down, just in the shoulders. Now let's move this a little bit faster. Feeling that in the shoulder blades. Getting nice deep breaths. Good job. All right, we're gonna put this motion together now. So what we're gonna do is we're going to lift the chest, lift the shoulder, drop the chest, lift the shoulder, lift the chest, lift the shoulder, drop the chest, lift the shoulder. So we're lift, side, drop, side, lift, side, drop, side, lift, side, drop, side. Now just work on this motion for a few so we get this down. When we feel we have that down, we're going to move this now into a circle. So just break that down now and push that chest around. Feeling each motion just in the chest now. And breathe. This is probably one of the best exercises to do right now during COVID too. If anybody has any lung issues, this is a great way to unwind the diaphragm and unwind anything that's built up on those bronchioles. Now let's move this to the other side. So we're going to shift this into a circle. If we're not comfortable with making that shift, we lift the chest, we lift the shoulder, we drop the chest, we lift the shoulder. Lift the chest, lift the shoulder, drop the chest, lift the shoulder. Lift, side, drop, side. Lift, side, drop, side. Lift, side, drop, side. Good job. And when we get comfortable with that, let's now shift this into a circle. And just push that chest around. Nice and stationary in the hips. This is all just in the chest and in the shoulders. Nice deep breaths. Good job, ladies. All right, from here, let's do a little bit more of the shoulders. Let's go ahead and keep our hands on the hips. What we're gonna do is take one shoulder and go forward, one go back. So just with the shoulders, we're just taking one, moving it forward and moving it back. So lifting and dropping, lifting and dropping. Lift and drop. Lift and drop. Goes back and forth. If you need a little bit more room with the shoulders, you can open the arms up. Just make sure we're using the shoulders and not the arms, really. Just pushing the shoulder blades back and forth. Nice deep breaths in with this. A little bit faster now, back and forth. Just shifting those shoulder blades back and forth. And when we're ready for this, we're going to shimmy the chest. So it's nice and fast motions, just back and forth with the chest. And make sure to breathe deep through this. Good, now with this shimmy, let's move forward. We shimmy forward, and we shimmy back. And forward, and back. Good, keep that motion going back and forth. Forward, and back. Good, now let's move to the side with this. And back to center. Now to the other side. And back to center. Once again to the other side. And back to center. And other side. Good job. Now just stand in place, moving back and forth. Let's finish this song out. Really feel yourself in the chest. If you start moving in the hips, put the motion in the shoulders. Slow down and just feel the shoulders now. Yes, beautiful. Perfect, until you can get that down. Make sure we breathe good through this. Good, just a few more seconds of this. Breaking all that stuff up. All right, good job from here. Now let's go ahead and let's do some windmills to stretch this out. Just nice big arms going back. Nice good breath. Good job. Now let's move this forward. Forward with that. Good job. All right, everyone, let's grab some water or anything that you've got to drink. All right, from here, we're gonna go ahead and work on our figure eights. So if we remember how this goes, the right hip goes forward, the left hip diagonally shifts back. The left hip goes forward, then the right hip diagonally shifts back. So right hip forward, diagonal back, left hip forward, diagonal back. Right hip and slide, left and slide. Right, slide, left, slide. Good job. Now when we have this motion down, we're going to start softening the hips by bringing them inward. So soft hips now, just circling in. We should be able to see the figure eight with the hips as they move their way in, comes out and around. Now when we're comfortable, let's add those arms in and pull that energy in. Add those arms and pull that energy. Feel those hips circle around and tuck in. You want to feel this really push around those hips and breathe. Good job. Now we're going to take this figure eight and move it outwards. So the hips now are going to shift back and diagonally then go forward. Hip goes back, diagonal forward. Hip back, diagonal forward. Hip back, diagonal forward. Good. Now when we have this motion down, let's soften it by just bringing the hips out and around. Follow these hips all the way through till you can't go anymore, then follow it all the way around. That's how we really cipher this figure eight. Now bring that energy out with the arms and follow it around. Still getting nice deep breaths. Push those hips out and around. Keep this motion going for a few more. Beautiful. All right, let's go ahead and work on our undulating hips. So we're going to take a step out. We're going to lift that hip up. We're going to pull the hip in. We're going to drop that down. So take a step out, lift the hip up, pull the hip in, drop the hip down. So we take a step out, up, in, drop, out, hip up, in, and drop, out, up, in, drop. Good. Let's work on this motion just for a few so we can feel that separation in between the hips. It's almost like when the hip comes up, you want to have it touching your rib cage till it drops down, and you can feel it separating then from it. So up, in, down, good. Now when we have this motion down, we're going to soften it, and we're just going to push the hips out now with the circle, bringing it up and dropping it. So it's just softening it now. So down, up, and drop. Down, up, lift, and drop. Down, up, lift, and drop. Just making nice half crescent moon circles. Make sure we breathe through this. The oxygen is 1/3 of the class, so we can actually separate these gunky areas and start allowing that extra space in there for the movement that we need. Good, let's do a few more of these on this side. And now let's move it to the other side. So we take a step out, we lift that hip up, we take that hip in, we drop it down. So out, up, in, drop. Out, up, in, drop. Out, up, in, drop. Good, step out, hip up, lift in, and drop. Now as we work on this motion, we're going to soften those hips like we did on the other side. So let's now make those soft half crescent moons up and drop, up and drop. Bring it all the way up. Feel that separation of the hip, elevating, then dropping. Good, keep that motion going. Really feel that back separating. Lift that hip up, touch that side, and come down. Let's do a few more of these on this side. And now let's move it to the other side, and we're going to be inverted. Now we're going to go outward. So we take a step out. Sorry, hold on. Hip up. Step out. Drop down. Slide in. Hip up. Step out. Drop down. Slide in. Hip up. Step out. Drop down. Slide in. Good. Hip up. Step out. Drop down. Slide in. Keep this motion going. That way we get the motion down. And when you girls are ready for it, we're going to soften it by just bringing the hip out, stepping, and sliding. So now it's just a circle coming out and sliding in. So up, out, down, and around. Up, out, down, and around. Keep that breath in good flow. Let's do 2 more of these on this side. All right, let's move it to the other side now. So hip up, step out, drop down, slide in. Hip up, step out, drop down, slide in. Up, out, drop, slide. Up, out, drop, slide. Remember, this is all in the hip motion, aside from sliding that ankle in. So when we're comfortable with this, we're going to go ahead and soften those hips by going up, down, and sliding. So just bringing those hips up, down, and around. We're now making this motion a little bit more fluid. Good. Let's keep working on this just for a few. All right, now from here, we're gonna work on both sides of this. Just stand in place now. So we're taking the hip up and bringing it out and down. Hip up, out, down, and around. We're just standing in place now, bringing the hips up, down, and around. Down and around. It's almost like we're taking a nice step outward, but up and then out, up and out. Stretching those hips outward, getting nice deep space in those hips. Good, now let's go inward with this. So bring those hips up and in, up and in, up and in, up and in, up and in. So we're just lifting up and bringing them in, just up and in. Good job. All right, from here we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna move back up to the arms and work on our snake arms. So we got one shoulder, one elbow, one wrist. Flip that up, drop that down. Other shoulder, elbow, wrist, flip, drop that down. Shoulder, elbow, wrist, flip. Now as one shoulder, elbow, wrist comes up, the other shoulder, elbow, wrist comes down. And we're now going to work on our balancing exercise, which is the snake arms. So let's go nice and big with the snake arms. This is going to shift the liquids in your equilibrium. If we ever have balancing issues, we can just stand here and do this as a nice balancing exercise to shift the fluids in the body. And just breathe softly. Good job. Now when we're ready for this, we're going to take a nice step forward, moving this in motion. Nice steps forward, all the way up with those snake arms. And when you can't move forward any longer, we're going to move backwards, but going short and fast now with the arms. Short and fast. Nice steps, still slow, but moving back short and fast with the arms. And stay in place with this and breathe. Good job. Now let's slow this down and let's make them big now. This is also going to build those arms up in our biceps and triceps and cut and tone those arms beautifully. Just 3 minutes a day doing this. Good job. Now when we're ready for this, let's go ahead and we're going to take nice small steps forward again. Nice small steps. Each movement should be very gentle. And when we can't move forward any longer, we're going to go back short and fast, short and fast. Remember, if the arms feel heavy, get out of the hurt and into the breath. You can breathe heavier. Get that acid popped out of those arms if they feel heavy. We're 2 minutes in, girls. Keep this going. We got a minute left. Keep pushing it. Now, last time, let's slow this down. Nice big snake arms. Now, last time, let's go ahead and start moving this forward with nice soft steps. Gently bringing that body forward. Stretching those arms up and down to the sky. And last time, when we can't go forward anymore, let's go back. We got 30 seconds of this, ladies, left. So pull it out with me. Let's fight this out and breathe. Good job, 20 seconds to go, keep pushing. Those arms are heavy, get out of the hurt and into the breath. Keep pushing, ladies, you got this, 10 seconds. Push this hard, push it. For 5, keep going, 4, we got this, 3, 2, and 1. Woo! Good job, I know that was rough, girls. Let those arms completely dangle. If we need water, definitely grab the water. Otherwise, we're gonna start this motion. Good job, girls. Now, just to get this motion exercise sealed, we're gonna do one more balancing exercise. So we're gonna bring those arms all the way up together, and we're going to go down, bringing them all the way down, circling them around into a circle, all the way up. So from the side, it looks like this, coming all the way down, bringing them all the way down and around. So if we need to go one circle at a time, it's one circle up, one circle back. When we can do this together, this is going to help balance those liquids even more. So let's work on this. And breathe. Let's do a few more of these on this side. Good, now let's move it to the opposite side now. So circling down the other way, bringing it down and around. Circling that down, up and around. Still getting nice deep breaths in with this. And remember that if any areas in the body are not working correctly, this exercise will show you if your arms are not in balance, the liquids are not equal, which means we just gotta work on shifting those. This is a great exercise for it. So just do one arm at a time if that's what's needed. Good job, a few more of these. All right, now from here, let's go ahead and we're gonna move into the hips again. So what we're doing is we're taking the right hip and we're moving the hip forward and back, just in the hips now. So hips going forward and back. Hip forward and back. Pushing that hip forward, sinking back into those hips. Just back and forth. Back and forth. Back and forth. That's the motion that we're in, okay? So now we're gonna get this moving a little bit. So now we're just gonna move those hips, pushing them back and forth, shifting. If we wanna lock the arms, we can keep the fingers and the hands under the chest. We can put them above the arms. We can put them out here. We can put them up here. Whatever it is though that makes this part stay stationary, this part just moving and everything else stationary, that's what we wanna work on. So just shifting those liquids back and forth. This is also too gonna break down anything inside of the gut or the digestive tract that needs to get moving. And this is also gonna build heavy abs. So when we're ready, let's get our shibby on. So we're gonna do this for 3 minutes. So let's get this back and forth, just pushing that chest or that stomach back and forth. Shift, shift, shift. Make sure we get good oxygen through this, breaking up all those stomach acids. Good. Now when we're ready for this, we're going to start moving forward and back with it. So keeping this in motion, just taking nice steps forward, moving that step forward. Beautiful. Yes. Love it, Kelsey. Keep that mama shaking. And let's also move back then with this, keeping that nice and fluid. Just in the hips. If we need to just slow down, just keep it in the hip area, just stand in place. Just remember, we're going forward and back with the hips. That's it. And then just shifting back and forth. So keep that motion going because we're in our shibby right now. We're about 2.5 minutes in. Let's keep motioning forward and back. So just taking nice steps forward and back or staying in place if we need to. Good. Now let's go ahead and come to the center of wherever we're standing. And now we're going to go into a circle with this. So just taking nice steps forward and to the side, shifting those hips still and moving into a circle. Good job. Keep motioning into that same side circle. Good job. And now let's motion the other way, circling the other direction. Good job. We still got a minute left, so shibby as hard as you can. Really keep those hips in motion. Getting the best cardiovascular workout that there is. It's just like we're running in place all the way in the tummy. Breathe deep. Keep that motion going. We still got a half a minute left. Keep breathing. Keep that motion going. Good, shibby. Nice deep breath with all this. Good job, ladies. Good job. Woo! Keep that up. We got 15 seconds left. Really, really push this. Beautiful. Keep that up. 5 more seconds. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good job. Woo! Let's grab some water after that. All right, let's go ahead and stretch that out now. So we're just taking a nice deep breath up, dropping into the back, stretching out that rib cage. And coming all the way forward, dropping down all the way, letting all that energy out, lowering the back, breathing all the way out. And coming all the way back up now. Nice deep breath in. Open up that rib cage, lean back, stretch this out. And come forward, releasing all that energy, dropping those arms completely, letting all that energy out. Deep breath in as we come up. Lifting up out of the rib cage and dropping back. Coming all the way forward, dropping down, releasing all that energy. Breathing all the way out. Let's do 2 more of these. Deep breath all the way in. And all the way out. And last one, deep breath in. And all the way out. Now let's slowly wind up. And now let's jump into the hips. And we're gonna make those hips roll in just some nice little hip circles.
Sorry.
All right, now from here, let's get into medium hip circles. So push those hips out, pelvic forward. Getting nice deep oxygen, breathe in through the nose. Now from here, let's get into big hip circles. So push that hip out, butt comes down and around. That pelvic comes all the way forward and push that buttocks around. Really get some good oxygen in through here. Now let's slow this down now, going back into center circles. And now back into little hip circles. And now let's go opposite way with those hips, circling them the other way. All right, let's move these into center hip circles. So pelvic goes forward, hip out. Just staying nice and good orbitration here in the center. Good job. Now from here, let's go ahead and really push this hip out, butt down and around, pelvic forward, butt out, down and around, pelvic forward. Push that back down and breathe. Good job. A few more of these down here. And then let's move it up into the center again. And now back into little hip circles. All right, now from here, we'll still work on the hips. Like we're gonna take a nice seat. Right foot forward, we go down like this. Hip is going to lift up, bring it all the way down around, dropping it down, opening the legs up, and then closing. So we lift up, out, drop, come in. So these are nice hip circles, bringing them down, out, and around. Lifting open that pelvic, dropping it up, dropping down, and then lifting up out of it, pulling forward. This is gonna do really good for our buns, getting nice squats in with this, so make sure when we come and open it, we're dipping down. Come up, squat. Up, squat. Watch how fast your girls' legs and buns build by doing this exercise. Just 3 minutes a day, it's all you need. Let's do 2 more of these on this side. Good, now from here, we're gonna take this hip and we're gonna bring it up, bring it down, drop it, and now open it. So we're going up with the hip, dropping it down, opening it up. So up with the hip, drop it down, open it up. Hip up, drop, open. Up, drop, open. Let's work on that. Hip up, drop, open. Hip up, drop, open. Beautiful. Let's do 2 more of these. Dropping that hip in. Good, now other side, okay? So now it's left foot forward, like we're taking a nice seat down. Lifting that hip up, we open the hip, open the legs, close it. Hip up, open, and drop. Up, out, open, and drop. Getting nice deep breaths in while we do this. And now we're going to go inward with this, okay? So hip now comes up, we drop it down, and then we open the leg. So hip comes up, turn it in, then open the leg. Hip comes up, drop it down, open the leg. Hip up, down, and open. Make sure we're still getting great oxygen. Two more of these, ladies. Good job. Now from here, let's move down into the knees. So we're just going to circle these knees around now. Getting a nice, good exercise in these knees. And now let's shift this to the opposite side. Nice deep breaths. Good job. Now from here, we're gonna take a nice step out and just work on one knee at a time. So we work one knee out. And now let's roll that knee inward. Good job. All right, now let's move it over to the other side. So the other knee, let's go ahead and rotate that out. Still getting nice deep breaths in. This class, if we do the oxygen right, we should be pushing out so much CO2. Getting grand good oxygen cells, new cells. Now let's move that knee inward now. Now let's walk these legs in, and one more time together, we just softly go into a circle. Now opposite way. Good job. Now from here, let's go ahead and roll up, and we're gonna work the ankles. So nice step forward. Let's go up underneath the toe, and we just press down, pressing and stretching that foot out. Nice deep breaths in. Now let's lean back off of that foot, and now let's rotate that ankle into a circle. And now let's rotate that the opposite direction. Still pushing that oxygen down to areas that feel tight and breaking it up. Good job. Now let's shift this to the other foot. So other foot steps forward. We just go up underneath those toes and we press down, stretching out the foot. Good. Now let's lean back and now let's rotate that ankle around into a circle. And now let's rotate that ankle into the opposite direction. Beautiful. Now from here, let's go ahead and take a nice step forward with the right foot. We are now going to lift the right hand and tuck that left hand down. We're going to be leaning forward on the lunge, coming back, and then lifting in the back. So we're going to lunge and lift forward, and then lift the back. So lunging and lifting. Lunge and lift. Good breath with this. This is our goddess gift and our goddess receive. So we gift this world and then we receive. Good job, keep that up. And lift. Let's do 2 more of these. Good job. Now let's rotate this to the opposite direction. Left foot forward, left hand up, right hand is tucked down. We are now leaning and lifting. Leaning and lifting. Lunge and lift. This motion going. Let's do 2 more of these, lunging and lifting. Good job. Now from here, let's go ahead and we're gonna work on our undulating the whole body. So we're going to do head, neck, chest, drop. Lift the belly in, hips, kick the leg out, pull it in, and drop. Okay, so let's break that down. It's going head, neck, chest, drop. Head, neck, chest, drop. Head, neck, chest, drop. Then we go belly, hips, hip, kick out, pull in, drop down, okay? So belly, hips, kick out, pull in, pull down. So belly, hips, kick out, pull in, drop down. So let's roll this together. So head, neck, chest, drop. Belly, hip, kick out, pull in, drop down. Head, neck, chest, drop. Belly, hips, kick, in, drop. Let's work on that. So head, neck, chest, drop. Belly, hips, kick, out, and in. Head, neck, chest, belly, hips, out, in, drop.
Yeah.
Let's do this side a couple more times. All right, let's move it to the other side now. So whatever foot was forward, put it to the other side. And we're still going head, neck, chest, belly, hips, kick, kick, in, drop. Head, neck, chest, drop. Belly, hip, out, kick, in, drop. Head, neck, chest, drop. Belly, hip, kick, out, drop. So roll this all the way down. Remember, head, neck, chest, drop, belly, hip, kick, out, in, drop. Head, neck, chest, belly, hip, out, kick, in, drop. So rolling that body down. Good. Okay, so let's just see your girls as camel, okay? So it's just the kick, okay? Camel is just going with the hips, going out, in, and back. Hip out, in, and back. This is the camel. Hip out, pull it in, tuck it down. Hip goes out, pull it in, tuck it down. Hip goes out, leg, pull the leg in, tuck it down. Hip out, leg, pull it in, tuck it down. Hip out, leg, in, pull it down. Good, so that way you girls know how to separate that camel kick. Good, let's do 2 more of these. All right, now other side, just remember, we're going hip, kick, hold the hip in, drop it down. So it's just hip out, kick the leg, shift the hip in, pulling it down. So hip, kick, in, and down. So hip, kick, in, down. Hip, out, in, down. Remember, kick with the hip, let the leg go forward, pull the hip back in, and then drop it down. So it's hip kick, then leg out, pull that hip in, drop it down. This is a really hard movement, girls, so just work on what we can. Hip, kick, in, drop. Hip, kick, in, drop. Good, just a few more of these. Good job. This is also gonna work these inner thighs to give that little gap in the thighs. This will be a good one for that. So also too, when we stand like this and we take a nice step out and then squeeze in, out, squeeze, out, squeeze, out, squeeze, out, squeeze. This will be a nice squeeze in between the thighs. This is also too going to get that gap. Squeeze. All the buttocks, squeeze. And squeeze. Two more on this side, squeeze. Good, opposite side. Point out, squeeze that that ankle in. Out and squeeze. Out, squeeze, good. Good job. All right, from here, let's go ahead and just take some nice deep breaths all the way deep and up and in. Let those arms come above the head and drop down. Deep breath up. And down. Now let's breathe up and grab that energy of the universe and pull it down into the heart chakra. As we lift up through the universe, opening up our channels, grabbing that earth energy and pulling it up now into the heart chakra. Deep breath in, coming down, releasing that breath. Getting that universal energy, pulling that down. And releasing all that grand energy. Let's keep this energy in motion. Two more of these beautiful movements. Now from here, let's just softly rotate that neck into a circle. Bringing that neck down and around. And now opposite side, rolling that neck down and around. Good. Now from here, let's just roll that chest around. And now opposite way with that chest. And now let's roll it into the hips. And now opposite side, rolling those hips around. And now down into those knees, just nice soft rolls. And opposite way on those rolls. And let's just softly roll ourselves up, giving ourselves a nice, beautiful blessing to our heart. Thank you, girls, so much for showing. Remember, when we awaken the goddess inside, magical things happen. Let it flow, girl! Woo, good job.